Good morning, Gronks.
Good morning. Happy Friday. Today's the day.
Good morning, Jackie.
G'day, Jackie.
Good morning, Casey.
Good morning, Shannon.
What up? Morning, Shannon. It's Friday. What are you reading, TJ?
Oh, just a bit of an article.
G'day, Calvin. Fuck, Calvin's is consistent, isn't he?
Mate, you're good. Looking sharp always in your profile pic.
Casey's very consistent too at the moment. Greg,
G'day,
g'day,
Greg.
mate.
Morning, buddy.
Wake up, Greg. Is that the wiggle? Wake up,
Wake
Jeff.
up, Greg.
Jeff.
Yeah,
Who's
yeah.
Jeff?
Oh, no, it's
Wake
Jeff,
up,
yes,
Greg. Oh, you bought into it too. Oh, yeah, fuck, I loved him. Wake up, Greg. One of my favourites.
Go get him, Greg. Yeah.
Hit the like button before we get started, please. 30 seconds until you'll get to see our faces and the real show begins. Let's be honest, this is the real show. This is...
Yeah. Partay.
Yeah, we'll get you pumped for work, Casey.
Where are you working, Casey? That's still able to
She's a teacher.
take stuff.
Teacher.
Yeah, there you go. Working from home? Who knows?
Yeah, it would be. Okay, here we go. Let's do this. It's the Daily Talk Show, episode 814.
Happy Fat Friday, Gronks. I just went to clap, but then I was like, it's not going to make any
do a
impact.
little applause for you there?
Yeah, do a clap. I want 1,000 people clapping. There we go.
Do you reckon how many people do you think are actually applauding in that sound effects?
Far out. I wonder. It's probably one
double.
person and then laid it
just
1,000
one
times.
Yeah, definitely.
Today's Fat Friday, and I've already launched.
What do you, yeah, because I know that you were saying that you'd organise something, and so I've organised something for myself.
Yeah,
what have you
that's
organised for
good.
you?
I was panicking that you thought that I'd said that I was organising
Yeah,
something
so I'm
for you
expecting
too, but that
some
was
frozen chocolate eclairs. Can we just very quickly talk about the last time that we could, the last meal that we had or that you dropped off to me?
Yeah.
I asked for a chocolate mousse from Nando's.
Yep.
And enjoyed my my meal. I had the halloumi burger. I told you about it. You had it too. What'd you think, by the way?
Oh, mate, real good. I mean,
That's great.
yeah, chicken and then halloumi. When you always used to get it, I used to think you were going just this halloumi burger.
No.
And I was like, okay,
Chicken and
sure.
halloumi.
But then it has both. It's a double whammy.
Anyway, so...
It was amazing. It was amazing.
Tommy got me the chocolate mousse. I was very fired up. And as I go to open it and I put my spoon in it, it was fucking frozen.
So I'll just tell you, hang on. Last Friday, can you believe that that it's Friday again? Like, it has gone so fast for being at home. Like, I feel like it's extra speedy in isolation. It's bizarre. Anyway, last week you got your frozen Profiteroles or chocolate eclairs, whatever one you want to.
Yeah, or
and
chocolate eclairs.
You were pissed. And I thought you were going to get pissed because there wasn't going to be a chocolate, because they said there's a variety pack, which doesn't promise any flavours. It's just whatever we have. But you were pissed because they were frozen. Anyway, got to Nando's, ordered. I said, do you have the mousse? Because they don't always have... They're not sort of like spruiking the mousse, but it's one of the best mousses in the business.
Yeah.
Jack Post, one of his favourites.
Oh, yeah, it
mousse
is.
from Nando's.
Yeah.
He loves
That's a good
it.
reference.
He loves it. I love it too. It's got little chocolatey bits in it. Anyway, they're not all... I don't think this, mousse is flying out the door at Nando's. It's not what they're known for.
I would have thought that it would have been doing really well at the moment with everything that's happening.
Mate,
I think
I'd
that
love
people
to know
need
the
mousse.
unit. unit movements on moose. Anyway, and so I said to him, "Do you have moose?" And he's like, "Yeah, I've just taken some out of the freezer." And so obviously it's a product that you can freeze. You put into the fridge, so it's like they can last a lot longer. And you can put it into the fridge, and then it thaws out, and then you're buying the thawed out moose. It's still cold at that point. But he said, "I've got some frozen ones. I can just, do you want those? They'll be good in 15 minutes. And I just thought, I usually probably would have just said, "Oh, nah," because I'm going to eat in probably 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I just thought about the guy that got angry at his frozen éclairs. And so I was like, this is beautiful. I'm not going to tell him.
Well, you didn't, but it wasn't even like, "Oh, there's your chocolate mousse." Like it was just business as usual.
It was business as usual until you beat me eating the burger, and you got straight to your mousse, and you're like, "What the fuck is this, frozen?"
You were pretty happy about that, and so
I thought it was the funniest thing ever because I was like, "Mate, it's you."
Yeah. And so, what have you organised for yourself for Fat Fridays?
Well, I've already had it. I woke up this morning very early, did a little bit of work, and then got Bodie up. Well, he's already up upstairs. And he came down with Mama, and we made pancakes. Big stack. You can see our stack on our Instagram, The Daily Talk Show.
I can't.
But, we were,
And so what did you put on the pancakes?
Man, I'm just a syrup guy. I'm just more syrup than one would need, but that is me. Amy goes minimal syrup. I go maximum syrup.
Any
Amy,
ice
when
cream?
she's dipping, no ice cream, too early. I know it's Fat Friday, but come on, mate. It's 6 weeks. It's the long ISO, so it will go real bad. But Amy's the type that has a little bit of dip on her crackers.
What's a dip?
And I go a lot of dip.
Yeah.
Like I think there's a little dip, lot of dip. Yeah, a lot of syrup. Not a lot of syrup person. And I'm the too much syrup.
I get it. Well, sauces. I feel like you'd put a lot of sauce on things.
Definitely.
Okay.
Like a big meat pie. I'm not just having... I'm pissed if I got a little squirt on there.
Yeah.
At least a smiley face with a nose. If it's going to be like... It can't just be two eyes and smile. It's like a big cheesy grin plus two big eyeballs and a schnoz. Schnoz in the middle.
I get that. My mum used to write my name on my sausage rolls with sauce.
Oh, that's cute. That is
Joshua.
Cute. Anyway, so what have you... No, I want the UA.
Yeah, definitely.
What have you surprised yourself?
There's two elements. I told Bree this morning, I said it's Fat Fridays, but I've also sort of, wanting to dial things back as well. Yeah, and so Bree said, how about I get you a mocha as a coffee?
Naughty.
So I'm getting a mocha. Bree's bringing it back. She's currently masked outside doing that. But then the other thing I thought is I'm not drinking enough water. Now you might shut this down. But I've filled my 2-litre bottle of water, and I thought, wouldn't it be great for me to finish the whole bottle before the end of the show?
Yeah. I don't mind that because that's not the annoying one. The other one that...
No, this is the annoying one.
Oh, no.
So, I don't know if you'll be able to
hear
it.
How many workplaces...
Here we go.
How many workplace blow-ups have happened from this? There's something that just pisses me off about that sound.
Could you hear the whistling?
I could hear the whistling a lot. But that's around the office. You just hear this guy who...
Well, you thought whistling. That I drank more, I would sip more when I was stressed. That's what you were saying. Like
so when you're in your head, yes. I don't think it's happened that much. It was more when we used to have blow-ups. And
Breezy's brought in
if
the
there
mocha.
Oh, yeah. Well done, Breezy.
Thank you, Breezer.
When we're sort of in the middle of something and we're having a conversation and I've obviously fucking flipped you off and you're pissed and you're thinking, you're not talking much, but you're thinking, and you're sipping every 3 seconds. It's just almost becomes a tick. And then what then pisses me off is the sound of it.
Yeah, so then that becomes your tick.
Yeah. I'm just like, oh. It's so bizarre. Anyway.
I like
that.
I've got the water thing. But
I want you to try and get through it.
I want to get through the whole 2 litres, but then I was I reminded myself of something that happened in the US. Do you remember this?
No, what happened?
Radio station.
What happened?
10 fired after radio contest tragedy. So there was a competition of who could drink most amount of water, and a woman died on air.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 2007.
How much water did she? How much did she? I reckon it would have had to been up like the 10-litre mark.
Yeah.
For something bad to go wrong happen.
How did it was? Do you know what the contest was called? It's actually quite sad.
What is it called?
So here you go. During the contest, participants were given 2 minutes to drink an 8-ounce bottle of water, and then given another bottle to drink after a 10-minute break. The contest.
I don't know how much that is.
So 8 ounce. You can look it up. The contest was called "Hold Your Wee for a Wee."
For a Wii. As
so
in those
Nintendo Wii.
Jesus, she died because she was trying to win a Wii?
Yeah. I mean, it's fucking... it is sad.
The
game console retails for about $250.
Oh my God.
But you don't think that you're going to fucking die from drinking too much water.
Imagine if you had in your mind where you wouldn't do a competition like that, where you're like, at some stage in probably 5 or 6 years, there will be a Wii left out for rubbish collection, and it probably still works.
Yeah,
like it's. I mean, everything, any consumer product will be once on the lawn. I used to think that about plasma tellies and the LCDs now, but when they came out, I was like, oh. Imagine seeing those, because you'd always see the big rear projection shit boxes. Huge things. Like people would build, people would cut into their wall to put through to slide in the rear projection.
Would they really?
Like the big plasmas. Yeah.
What houses were you going to? That sounds posh.
Some pretty affluent ones, but it's like that's. Think about what you're needing to do for a television. They've
got a whole nother room for the rear bit. Sorry, Johnny, you've lost half your bedroom because you're back onto the lounge room. How do you actually do that?
Mate, building. I mean, it's rich people that are probably doing it, or crafty people that know how to build.
Yeah.
There's plenty of people on YouTube. Plenty of people on YouTube. I've been looking on YouTube at the moment, just had to knock up a few things. This is for something that I sort of flagged yesterday that I can't talk too much about.
This is the $50
but it's coming. Yeah, spent $50 on the company card for something that will be rolled out within this ISO period. It's a project that I'm working on, and it requires, this is the second hint, requires construction, which you probably could have gauged from the first hint, which was I got it from Bunnings.
Yeah, no, makes sense.
Very, very similar tips.
Are you going to need to use power tools?
Definitely, yeah, definitely. My next door neighbour's a chippy.
Okay.
Got a whole bunch of power tools, but I'm trying to limit. Like I want to see if I can do it myself. I want to see if I can sort of complete the project, or at least get it sort of 90% there, where I just may need some power tool assistance. So
do you have an announcement date of when this is happening?
Yeah, it's a good point. I reckon it's a weekend. It's a weekender, and I reckon not next weekend, but so I need 2 weekends to complete it, and so by I don't know, the following Monday, I don't know that date, but it'll be like mid-August, it'll be rolled out. And there's another hint. It will be rolled out.
I know exactly what it is.
You don't know what it is.
You fucked it. No, you've actually just fucked it.
No. Just keep it to yourself, because then we'll see. Just hold it and see if you can get it when it comes.
Can I give you a hint of what I think it is?
Now, on the day you get to guess.
Okay.
On the day you get to guess, just before we roll it out, okay?
All right. See, that's development. I would have just fucking... If I felt like I knew the answer a year ago, I would have just blurted it out.
Yeah. 17th of August, it will be rolled out.
Okay.
17th of August.
That's good to know.
It's quite soon.
I've noticed as I've gotten off sort of social media on my phone, I'm not knowing what to do. So it seems weird. In a moment? Yeah, it just seems weird. Like I wake up in the morning and I'm in bed and I've got my phone I ended up going to people's fucking websites. I was on Kevin Rose's web, like just looking at people's actual blogs, like reading blogs.
Yeah.
And so,
I mean, this is why they have those sites, hopefully.
Yeah, so people
go we have a website that we've invested in.
Yeah. People go to websites. And
if
do you go
there,
to websites?
Go there.
Are you on your phone going to websites?
No. Didn't we have this convo? As in, I was like, "Who goes to websites? Who goes to websites?"
Yeah.
To you.
Mm-hmm.
So there's two things that. So what is if that is what you're saying now?
Yeah.
What's the value in a website?
So the value in a website is you will Google things. So, for instance, you'll search up stuff and then you might land on things, right? So, for instance, you might be trying to find a specific thing, an answer, and it's great having a website for that. But the actual mechanism of someone going to a website, so someone going to the dailytalkshow.com is just their daily check-in to see what's happening on the website, feels like an early 2000s thing. And now it feels like what ends up happening. But it's not saying you shouldn't have a website. We can then have like this long tail of information. So if someone looks up one of our guests, they can find out about the show.
I saw a guy write on LinkedIn, thought leader vibes, just like, here's why not to waste your money on building a website or something like that. And so, it's the most expensive showreel you'll ever build or the most expensive CV you'll ever have. Mm-hmm. But I think the bit that's missed the mark there is that, maybe if you just think it's going to do everything for you, or if you literally just think 1 million people are going to visit it, but it's a longer play. There's more thought that's required.
But then also you have to think about, are people trying to search, like what will people search to try and find us? So if you type in Australian Daily Podcast or whatever into Google, we are number one, there's probably a few people who discover it. Like, even though it seems weird, there'd be a bunch of people who it's like, click on, I know this guest, and they click through that, and before you know it, they're a Gronk.
Yeah. And so it's that play. So one of the sites I used to go to, eBeams World.
eBeams World.
As a kid. It had real like eBeams, EBEAUMS.
Oh yeah.
eBeams World.
Yeah. Funny pictures.
AU.
They're all the same. So I used to go on jokefrog.com, which is very similar to that, which was like you had animated GIFs.
Yeah.
Oh, it's now this is dodgy. Yeah, don't click on jokefrog.com. They've now taken
back
over
in the day, eBeams World, this was before social media.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a Reddit vibe. There's just videos of random shit, just blog post articles that have videos, and so. But then there was games as well. There's some. I mean, I'm just looking through the videos section on the site, but I'm still. You know what? Here's the problem. I have watched a whole bunch of these videos that they're putting up here through YouTube, and so then YouTube has taken and curated for me. Mm-hmm. This experience of what eBeams World is doing.
Exactly.
And so that's,
So what can I do on my phone that when I wake up in the morning, what are some productive things that I could do? Yeah,
a productive thing, a meditation with your phone. That's got the app. I mean, you don't read books on your phone, but podcast in the morning, something nice, something to get your day started. Mm-hmm. That's all good.
But there seems something weird about
the
just
weather?
Like, like I was on the news, and I'm even broadening out. Like I go, The Age, news.com.au, the New York Times, the LA Times. I'm just any other times that I should be checking
That's
out?
a rotation. Nah. I think that's it. But what about? So that's. I think you've mentioned the obvious because I think that's like news, but then social media have taken off the table. But what if you were to do something different, like send 3 texts every morning?
Yeah, that's a good
to
idea.
people that you love.
Yeah, I like
and
that.
So it's actually just you think about something to say to somebody that's not work related. It's just something. it's using the old school device for what it's meant for, communication, but not like relating to work because it's earlier in the morning. Like, I don't know. You could, just start sort of just message your mum, message 97, tell him that you love him.
I've got it. Yeah, there's heaps of people I need to message. Yeah, that's a good idea. I like that.
Like, so get through the list. Because I think that friendships require effort. I think some people just think that friendships are effortless and that you're always going to be with your besties. But like you and I, Josh, we spend more time together than with some of my friends that I've had for many, many, many years. And those other friendships require more effort because we're not, working together daily. We're not, in business together. And so I think that would be like a 10, what's a cute little sort of
a benchmark for it, like a little life
benchmark.
Yeah,
like the 10-minute whip around, or like the 3,
it's on the project.
5 Bullet Friday, or like, I'm trying to work out some.
Do you know what? I don't know if you've ever had this feeling.
3 Text Tuesday.
3 Text, yeah, I like that. I mean, I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but the awesome feeling of forgetting one of your really good friends and then they just pop into your mind and you're like, oh, fuck yeah. You know what I mean?
What? Forgetting that they existed, or like...
Yeah, or just forget, like, it's like, oh, fuck yeah, I haven't spoken to them in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Definitely.
Yeah, fuck. That's such an easy call that I can make. It's going to feel great.
I think what you're experiencing is probably what you get off social media, because if you're on there... So someone comes to mind, Tallis, good buddy of mine. He spotted, I think it was Georgie Boy walking, and he said, "Hey, you're Georgie Boy, Hump Day, from the Daily Talk Show." George was like, "Oh my god, got noticed," but then he's like, "Oh, I'm Tommy's mate. Say hi to Tommy." But I haven't seen him in ages, but I see his content, I see bits and pieces, and so I'm like, I feel connected, but it's not connected in the right way. It's not connected like a friend. But he is my friend, and so that's where it's like, yeah, man, that's something. I mean, I think that's a piece of advice for me too.
It is nice to do, isn't it?
Yeah, it's gonna require some form of effort.
I think text message and iMessage is sort of on the way up. I think it's the new cool.
What, iMessages?
Well, yeah, I just think like the just messaging people, just like back and forth, all that sort of fun.
Little texties.
What's happening?
It's like live tweeting, to be honest. Like when you and I have got some commentary going about a few things before.
Yeah. That's great.
And it's fun. Yeah, it gets fun.
What about what's happening with Instagram with this new feature? I don't know. I haven't used it. I haven't been on Instagram. Do you know what it is? It's a TikTok killer or something?
That's how it's framed. I don't even know if I've downloaded the new Insta, but I have seen it. So it's like the ability to make little videos, like with some text and shit in Instagram. I'm going to update it. I can tell you right now. It's got, mate, this is probably the most boring. There's just more, I don't know. I mean, this is people on the bleeding edge. There'll be some guy on LinkedIn saying, here's how to optimize your fucking new function on Instagram for your business. And here's a new course to get you through. But this is the thing. It's, does it even matter? Does any of it matter?
Yeah, I mean, no, but I just thought it was interesting because I saw on YouTube, because I have got YouTube on my TV, and I saw that pop up, and I was thinking about when you're in it, how much you're like, oh my, like a new thing to play with. Yeah. But it's called Reels. I probably know more about it than you do based on just
tell me about it.
Video. No, it just looks like it's got more creative stuff. You can bring in filters in an easier way. There's sort of like if you swipe all the way down, you can get a bunch of IG story style filters.
Here's Reels. Create with Reels. Record and edit short videos and share them to explore where anyone may discover them. So it's like outside of your network. Yeah, so they're creating like another feed that allows people to discover it beyond your followers. So before it was like your engagement, you get pushed into other people's feeds when more people like your stuff, but it's only people who follow you. And then people who use that creepy function of seeing what their friends are looking at, which, if you're in there, you're probably...
Well, it's like IGTV. IGTV was meant to be this big thing that sort of just did its thing, and it's like we still use it, but it's not really. It's still just Instagram, really, at this point, isn't it?
They have literally. I mean, this is what Zuckerberg was pushed on pretty recently about. Did you see? He was like facing Congress, and it was like, did you see Instagram as a threat, and were you working on a similar product, copying their, using their? It's basically saying, were you copying other companies that were coming up around you?
Yeah.
Because then it's like he's sucking the blood out of them. He ended up buying Instagram. But for that so I just did it, the Reels thing. It's got the similar layout to TikTok. So you can film a bit, stop, film another bit, stop, add stuff to it. It's exactly TikTok in Instagram now. Which is, I mean, I'm not that fussed about it because it means I don't have to go to TikTok and be seen as a, pest.
Do you think
it's a bit creepy over there?
Part of the all of this stuff that's happening at the moment, there's thought leaders or whatever you want to call them, like your Gary V's or whatever. It's like, TikTok's the next thing, and this is the next thing, and this is the next thing. But don't you think that it feels like that is based on a trend that there's going to be another Instagram, or there's going to be another this or another that, versus maybe the next Instagram is actually nothing to do with Instagram. Like from a movement perspective, might not even be an app. The big move, like the next thing from Instagram could be fucking off Instagram and just chilling at home and just not fucking being on the app.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully. I mean, there will always be... These things are highly addictive, as you've been sort of talking about the effect of coming off them. This is... Yeah. If we just removed heroin, we said it was heroin that you're off. It's like in the mornings, man. I don't know what the fuck to do.
It is a good night though, but you realise how much monkey mind stuff is going on around just scrolling, and then Bree, who's pretty, like, I'd say she's like an average social media user. She's not sort of extreme at my end. I just like watch her doing it, like just scrolling or whatever. And I just like, obviously in the classic sort of, as you do if you're on a diet or whatever, you fucking, you're going to eat that, it's the same sort of thing. It's like, you're scrolling a lot.
Does it feel pathetic? Does it... But there is something pathetic from the outside.
Not from like looking at Breen being like that's pathetic. But I think about
just the action of doing it.
I think that me doing it. Speaking about me and how I feel, and I feel like that's it's not a great use of time, or there's something a little bit sort of robotic or unhuman about it, maybe.
Oh yeah, definitely. Speaking of heroin, great segue. I got told this story, and the article I was looking at before. By the way. Yeah, do it. I was just looking at the article before about travel and when we'll be able to go overseas. I mean, you first type into Google when will traveling overseas, and then it comes up with 2024, which could be alarm bells, but I don't know. Some other reports are that maybe it's 2021 before people are jumping overseas. So next year. Is it an
airline thing, do you think? Like airlines being in a position to be able to do it, or is it a COVID thing?
It's COVID mixed in with issues of airlines and availability, and then I guess think about the economy and people not having the money to do it. It's like there's so many factors that an individual might not get overseas, regardless if they start back up. It'll start up slow. Flights will be a lot less, and maybe they will ramp back up. But, I mean, probably gone for a very long time, the days of like even us travelling back in October last year.
Yeah.
Just straight to the airport, get up in the morning, get that flight, LA, by the Arvo, because everything's changed. LA's changed. Everyone's leaving LA. There's a movement around videos called Mass Exodus of LA, and it's got like people talking about all the people who are leaving, comedians, Theo Von's leaving, Joe Rogan's leaving at the end of this month.
Where's he going? Of other people. Was talking about Texas, but where is he?
Yeah, he's going to Texas. He's already got his place. He's already got his studio. It's all like happening.
And so the question, when we were in Los Angeles, the theme that we noticed was there are high performers, as you could say, but they feel disconnected. They don't feel like there's a sense of community. There's a sense of sadness. It's grind. It's you're in traffic all of the time. There's no balance. I guess that's a response.
It's got worse. I heard it's got worse. So I mean, if that's the case. But even think about our homie Matt Diavella. He's not from there. It's not like, I don't think you have an allegiance to LA. Like, it's maybe if you grew up there, you're like, oh, my family's here. Mm-hmm. But he's from New Jersey, isn't he?
Yeah.
Or from Jersey,
East Coast.
And so, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if someone like him just was like, yeah, I'm out too, because it's not what it was.
Yeah.
And people going inland. But anyway, the travel thing. I got told this story by a flight attendant recently that said that this guy. So, have you ever been on a flight where someone's had to have medical attention? Like, people have had to come and say, like, anyone know a doctor here? Is there a doctor here?
I think so.
I haven't seen it personally.
Yeah, I've seen it, but I reckon in a way lower sense. Just like, is there a doctor on board? Like, it's not crazy. Yeah. But I do remember hearing that.
My brother flew with this guy and turned out, a work colleague, turned out that he ended up going into some cabin and sleeping because he had some issue going on. Anyway, long story short, turned out he'd been drinking too many Red Bulls and got a urine tract infection or something like that.
Why did Red Bulls do that?
Just a shit diet is the point. Like, I don't know, there was something going on with his system. But anyway, he had to sleep out the back. But this story specifically, someone was in a lot of pain that was on the flight, and they said, is there a medic? Anyone, a doctor here? And the guy was like, wincing in pain, like severely. She said he looked quite normal. Looked quite just like a dude flight up to Sydney or something, and just like could be business because it's timing. Anyway, turned out that what he said he had when the doctor that came to speak to him was that he had a twisted testicle. Oh. Have you ever had a twisted testicle?
No, I haven't. I feel like you have though.
Yep. So mate, at that point that I found out he had twisted testicle, I felt so sorry for him, because if it doesn't become untangled, makes you sound like you got huge nuts too.
It seems like a really long sort of. How does a ball twist?
But dude, it is.
Show us a shape. Use your hand to show a shape of your nuts. Just one.
No, what do you mean? No, but there's no. It's not about that. So you can't even feel it like turned or anything. But what happens is, even if you just patted it, like the softest pat, it is excruciatingly painful. And it's bizarre because it's not just like, it's all over it. It's like you cannot move. If you got up and stood and tried to run, you would just be. So is it the twisting of the nut, vomit.
like so one nut going behind the other rather than the actual nut itself twisting?
Nah, dude. So you cannot feel it. Like, it doesn't feel like you've just like actually had two fucking pom-poms from a coat and.
But what is it actually doing it internally?
There is something twisting, but it's go have a look. There's something twisting, definitely twisting. But so there's a few things. They untangle.
Testicular torsion.
Oh,
that's what it's called. So
you
okay.
either.
All right, I know what's going on here.
What's happened? What?
The way that it sounds, or the way that you're describing. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. There's a great graph. I'll send it to you as well so you can see it. So what's happening is, if you just type in, you just Google it yourself, twisted testicle, and look on Google Images. So it's not a twisted like the actual balls being squished and twisted. The nut is held by some sort of fucking thing, and it's And so if you imagine like a ball's hanging on a piece of rope, and then the ball is then being twisted, and the rope is sort of being twisted,
turning. Yeah. So it'd be like turning. So it's one of them just turning itself, not twisting and wrapping around the other one. Mm-hmm. Wow. Anyway, for me, it just somehow just went, and I was like. It was the moment where I just was like, oh, I just fucking got up and I could walk again. I was like, oh my God, that wasn't that long. I was probably like 12. And so it went quickly. Sometimes I knew a kid who had to get surgery, friend of a friend, my mum's friend's kid, had to get surgery about it. Like, that's full on if you have to get surgery. This guy said he had it, right? And so immediately when she's telling me this, I'm like, oh, empathy. That fucking guy. Feel sorry for that motherfucker. He's like, oh, I need something for the pain, please. Need something for the pain. And the doctor's like, okay. And supposedly they carry, like, morphine on flights. And there's a few other drugs that they carry, specifically for cases that could come up on flights. So they can, EpiPens and, diabetes medication and morphine. And so the doctor administered some morphine and injected him with it. Got to the other side, Sydney, and gets off. And long story short, it turned out this guy didn't have a twisted testicle. He was a junkie. And he realised that you can con people into getting medication on flights.
How much is morphine
Here's the
cost?
thing. Well, you just can't get it. You can't get it.
Okay, yeah, sure.
You can't get it. And so $140 flight to Sydney and
maybe
he got a
on
hit.
Tiger. But a good deal.
But get this. The doctor that came over and said, okay, I'll administer this, thought something was up, didn't quite, like, wasn't going to say, mate, you don't have pain, used half water, so in the syringe, the clean water, half water, and then so diluted the morphine, so it was like a tiny little dose. And then the guy on the other end, they realised that he was a con artist.
Wow.
How's that?
How did you hear this story?
Link?
Where's this? That's a good
From
story.
a flight attendant. It fucking blew my mind because I was like, I see how he's going, oh, get a cheap flight. It's like, I can get it that way. There's a bit of theatrics involved,
It's
fucking
annoying.
But that's the lengths people are going to get drugs like that. It's fucking full on, dude.
How do you reckon it? I mean, the twisted testicle is a good one.
I know.
Clever.
Because you can't, like...
Because there's a little bit embarrassed, like, oh, mate, I've got a fucking twisted testicle. Okay, all right, yeah. Stop
you're
talking
not
about
arguing
it.
with a woman who says she has period pain. There's no there's no, mate, fucking toughen up, sweet. It's like, no, mate.
Yeah.
No one fucking... That's your own thing.
Yeah, it's a great move. Respect.
So if you want to pull a sick day at school, say you got a twisted testy.
Yeah. It is full on. I like that story.
You'll get out of work. Yeah.
Maybe there's where can I go to get stories like that? Like if I just want to find... Just Reddit. You just don't know what's fucking true.
Yeah. Yeah, people are just hyperbolic and talking shit. I mean, that's why people come to this podcast, to be honest.
Because then someone else, you've transferred that story to all of the Gronks. So all the Gronks can tell the story. Any other bits of information in the story that need to be told?
No, I think that was it. There was that after doing some checks on his name, they worked out they were onto him basically. They were onto him. They knew
Has he done it before?
They worked out that he They worked out that he'd been on other flights and full like. Think about it. You get to sit down. You get to get your injection. I mean, it's fucked. But I wonder how many. Maybe I've ruined some kind of like. I mean, not actually. COVID ruined it. No one's flying anyway. No one's fucking flying. Maybe now's a good time to do it because there's not many people on the flights.
So yeah, I mean, just before we go, the stuff in Beirut's fucking horrendous.
Oh man,
and
it is.
The footage is ridiculous. Like, have you watched all the different sort of angles?
Yeah, dude, it's incomprehensible. Is that the right word?
Yeah,
incomprehensible. It's fucking like. It makes no sense. You see why people are looking at it from afar, from 10 k's away in a building, and they're just looking at it dead on, and then it erupts, and you can see them sort of get a bit. They've got time to react and sort of move back before the fucking window blows in on them.
Yeah,
and that's what blows me away. It's like
you see the power go out, like the light goes out. It's like what's that? And then the fucking response. That's full on,
dude. It's such a sad time. That place has had civil unrest for fucking years, and they've it's now been rattled by this. It's so sad. So sad.
I mean, the chemical stuff, like now all of the what's it called, ammonium nitrate, that they it was a ship or something from Africa from 2013 that got what's it called, they
seized some product
exactly
from
it. They seized it, and they were saying that they weren't storing it in the right way. But now they're talking in the news about Newcastle. Have you read this story?
No, I just from you mentioning.
Yeah. So there's 4 times as much ammonium nitrate in this storage facility, and obviously there's a bunch more checks around this, but they're saying hey, there are people living 800 meters away from this storage facility, and it would basically wipe out Newcastle. Now,
dude,
I'm not an expert. I don't know what the fucking deal is, but what a scary thought. I feel like, yeah, it's just that weird thing. Like once you see that, and then you're like, I see that there.
Yeah,
we have 4 times the amount of the thing that made that happen here.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't take a scientist, a genius to work that out. Far out. I mean, this year is an absolute mess, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just like that's something that what was odd about the sort of comms around at the start? I guess it's probably people not understanding what had happened, but
this is in Lebanon.
The first day I could, in Lebanon, I couldn't work. I was just looking sort of top level, but couldn't see what had happened.
Well, this is the problem.
I thought I thought it was a bomb.
Yeah, and this is the problem
someone
with having
had done it.
a loose unit as a president. He in the US, Donald Trump said, use the words attack, the attack. And so you think about how the media and politicians, there's all a responsibility to be very careful about the language that's used, depending on what it is. And even just, I guess, that sort of, where did I see that? I saw a clip from The Project where a guy was saying, making claims that it was Israel or things like it. Just claims that have no clear basis, or there's actually no evidence for that. It's pretty destructive. So I guess that's the thing. But the problem is that we want to know, and we want to understand. When something massive like that happens, you obviously straight away want to know all the details.
Yeah,
give us. It does make sense, what they're saying, where it's just this is just negligence around storage. It does actually, it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, that does make sense. Fuck.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But
it's a crazy time, man. It's a crazy time. How's your mocha, by the way?
It's really good. Yeah, I haven't had much of it. I said at the start of the show, I was going to drink.
How much water have you got?
2 liters. I've probably done the responsible amount of drinking of water.
Yeah. Look,
sense.
there's no wee up for grabs, so you're not going to go that hard today.
So I went from 200.
Actually, there is a wee up for grabs.
Yeah. 2,000 mils. I'm down to 1,400. So I've had 600 mils of water during the show.
Right, one more skull, and then
okay, one more big one. But the one thing I will say is, if you're in ISO, you're sitting down, you're at home, make sure you drink enough water, especially during winter.
Definitely.
It's very easy to not drink enough. You hydrated?
Not enough as of this morning. I've had one coffee, one tea, and pancakes, and a little bit of water. I've been waking up in the night, the morning time, just parched, and I just drink a heap in the morning. So I've had some at first rise.
I've had a litre.
Since. Wow, good work.
That feels like it's a good amount without being silly, Don't need any
yeah.
More tragedy.
This week you've been more sensible than you have in your whole life, to be honest.
This is... What's the point,
be sensible, kids. Yeah. Be sensible,
Yeah, don't be silly. Keep hydrated. Alrighty.
Text a mate that you if you've woken up and you're not using social media as much, or instead of using social media, text someone. Tell them you love them. Tell them
it's a
that
nice
you're thinking
idea.
of them. That's nice. You know, when someone just says, I'm thinking of you, as long as it's someone you actually are close with, it's always a nice message. Hey, mate, thinking of you. Love you. That's it.
It's a good idea.
That's it.
Yep. Alrighty. It's the Daily Talk Show. Hi at thedailytalkshow.com. Can you actually quickly pull up the email from our awesome French listener? I want you to try and read out the all the words, because there's a bunch of French words. Do you know the one I'm talking about?
Yeah. As long as do you reckon you've put it into the
archive? You know how to access
archives? Yeah, I do, but it just adds more layers, and I've archived a heap of other stuff.
You can also just use the search function as well.
I just tried to write profiterole, but I don't know how to spell it.
Eclair.
Yeah, here we go. Hi, guys. This is from Charlotte. Hi, guys. I'm a bit late because I'm watching episode 808 today, as I've had friends at home since a few days. I've been doing the tourist guide on the French Riviera. Fucking lucky duck. And then haven't had a minute to listen to my favourite Aussie podcast, French Summer Holiday Time. Mate, I don't blame you. It's summer in the French Riviera. Well, 808 episode speaking about chocolate eclairs and profiteroles is funny. I couldn't resist to write a message. First, let me say, you must come to France to taste real chocolate eclairs and profiteroles. The difference is huge. Not that huge, in fact, in terms of flavour, but huge in terms of composition. So here we are. Chocolate eclairs and profiteroles have the same batter. Pâté à choix. I can't say that word. Which has a long and cylindrical form for eclairs and a round shape for profiteroles. Profiteroles is plurals because it's always served by 3. Did you know that, Josh?
Nah, fuck, if I knew that I got 3.
No. Yeah, Mum,
I'm
you're not
pretty sure
giving me
there's been a few
profiteroles.
times where I've only had one profiterole. Where did the other ones go?
Mum had them. The main difference is that profiteroles is a dessert served on a plate in a restaurant, whereas a chocolate eclair is bought at a bakery and must be kept in a fridge. The reason? Chocolate eclairs is filled up with cream with a chocolate flavour. Actually, you also have vanilla eclairs and coffee eclairs where the flavour is different. This cream is a huge thing to do and is temperature sensitive. Need to be kept under 4 degrees, and if you want to avoid stomach disorders, profiteroles are filled with vanilla ice cream. Okay, here we go.
This is new.
Also, on top of chocolate eclairs, you have a chocolate glazing. Not sure of the English word, maybe icing, which is a smooth, shiny, and cold. On the other hand, when profiteroles are served on a plate, you have on top of them chocolate sauce, which is hot. So you understand why profiteroles is a dessert and should be made just before eating, unless having a disaster on a plate. Of course, I'm sure you could eat mix of these pastries in Australia, and I'm sure it's good too, but I needed to explain the differences. Well, sure. I'm fond of cooking and pastry baking. Love you guys. Have a good day. Love you, Charlotte. Fuck,
love
man.
you, Charlotte. That's
great. A huge difference. We've butchered them here in this country. That's disgusting.
I mean, profiteroles, what I've been eating, they're not profiteroles.
Yeah.
There's a lot to be answered for. You know, like just like
so much.
If 2020,
who the fuck?
Yeah, who thought it could get
Charlotte could not have been more clear.
Yeah, no.
She could not have been more clear.
Yeah.
It's absolutely bullshit.
Yeah, we need to do. I don't know what we can do about it.
Oh, but, mate, I don't know. I mean,
maybe that's where I could be spending my time. Maybe I could be learning something around all of these this pastry stuff. Thank you, Charlotte.
Profiterole masterclass, eclair masterclass. I mean, to be honest, I don't know what I ate because it seemed like it was a butchered version of both. I reckon it was just like what would the bogan Australians like most? Sugary, fluffy cream in the middle, and then basically just donut material on the outside. In fact, I'm going to go get one today. Fuck it.
I mean, so yeah, the profiterole. Yeah, it's interesting. Like you can really, it's confusing, isn't it? I'm on Google Images. Oh, hang on. No, I'm still on the twisted testicle.
Mini profiterole ball. Profiteroles.
Yeah. No, they.
Anyway, all right. Happy Fat Friday.
They look very different, some of them. Some of them you can see the cream or the ice cream. Some of them you can't. But thank you for your email, Charlotte. Hi at thedailytalkshow.com if you want to email us. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow for Weekend Banter. Have a good one, guys.
See you guys.
Thanks, everyone in the chat.
Thanks, babes. Currently living in Newcastle. It's a strange thing to find out we are an accident away from being flattened. Greg, fuck, mate. Feel ya.
Crazy. Casey, I've never had a profiterole with ice cream either.
Yeah. I mean, they tried to pull the wool over your eyes, Josh, by giving you a frozen profiterole last week. But where's your hot chocolate sauce? There's no fucking...
It's very confusing.
They sound awesome. I'd love to go to the French Riviera and just be, knocking back a few profiteroles because I can't be drinking French champagne. Or, if it's just French champagne and we're in France, it's champagne.
Very true. Well, would you not say that all champagne is champagne? Well, there is no, because it's champagne's
champagne
origin.
That's not from. Yeah, okay.
You have sparkling wine.
Yeah, true.
But it's such an obnoxious fact. You know what I mean? Like when I say it, I just feel like I'm better than you. This is explaining, Thanks, everyone. Hit the like button before you go. See everyone.